This is the Global Wealth Show with Grant Connis and Andrew Costa.
At a young age, people very close to me were really hurt by the financial markets, and that drove me to be in this industry.
The vision was to change the industry.
Everybody calls this your nest egg, and I think of it as so much more than that. This is your life savings.
So being that guide, that coach for our clients is why we do what we do.
What we do could change someone's life.
The Global Wealth Show begins now.
Welcome to another edition of the Global Wealth Show. I'm Ben Bauman here with Grant Connis and Andrew Costa of Global Wealth Management. Welcome back, guys.
Thanks, Ben.
We've talked previously on this show and elsewhere about annuities. You get a lot of questions about annuities. People hear about them, not really clear about what they are. I guess my question is, why do I need an annuity, or do I?
Well, it's a great question, Ben. And you know, before we talk about any type of investment, whether it's an annuity or a stock or a mutual fund, we really want to go through a process. We call it our retirement roadmap review process with our clients, really understand where they are today and then parallel that to what's important to them and then put a full service plan in place. 100% of financial advisors in this industry specialize in investment planning, finding the best annuity, the best stock, the best mutual fund.
Makes sense.
Less than 6% of them, however, specialize in what we call advanced planning. And advanced planning is not only investment planning, but it also includes income planning. You know, making sure that your income's going to last for the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years of your lifetime in retirement. And those that have an income plan in place can generate over 20% more income in retirement than those that don't have a plan. So income planning is essential. Investment planning would include things like making sure that your assets are properly allocated and making sure that you're not overexposed to too much risk in your portfolio. Then we want to look at tax planning, making sure you're tax efficient with your investments. Make sure you're not overpaying as it relates to taxes. Healthcare planning is another plan that we put in place. Healthcare planning, looking at things like long-term care and Medicare planning and making sure that those healthcare needs are addressed and how you're going to pay for those in retirement. And then finally, we look at legacy planning, things like trusts and wills and making sure that your assets pass efficiently as possible to your beneficiaries. So that full service comprehensive plan is something that is really, really important to make sure that you're going to have a successful retirement.
Yeah, you talked about 5 areas there. Back to annuity, that's a product that might fit into one of those 5, the investment portion of it, right? So there's a lot to think about before we get into maybe a specific product that someone may or may not need.
Exactly. We want to go through that process. It's not just here's this product, buy it, here, buy this, do what, buy our managed portfolio or buy this annuity. It's why does it fit in? Where does it fit in? What's the purpose of it? So we first want to analyze the portfolio that you currently have. Is there cost issues? Are there risk issues? Are there income issues, tax issues, all these healthcare, all these things? Then we take you through that process that Grant just described, and now we're going to dissect each one of those 5 different processes. And so in the investment plan, when we're dissecting that and we're building out this investment plan for you, the annuity might fit in there. It depends on what's important to you. If you're trying to protect your assets, if you're trying to have a certain portion of your money that is completely protected from market risk, maybe an annuity could be right for you if it was the right type and a certain kind and stuff like that. Or maybe if you're looking for your own private pension, and you want to create this income stream that will come in forever and you never have to worry about it. Maybe an annuity fits in there, but it's just a portion of an overall plan. So there's so many things you want to do before you just say, okay, yeah, an annuity is right for you.
Sure, yeah, and these other areas that you mentioned, extremely important. Healthcare is a big one, and certainly as we age, it only gets bigger. But if I'm heading into retirement healthy, that's likely not something that I want to spend a lot of time thinking about. But we need to, right?
You absolutely do. I mean, we're all living longer, and healthcare is on the rise. It's not getting any lower, unfortunately, right? So, a couple today that's 65 years old will need over $250,000 or more in retirement to pay for things like health care. And that doesn't even include long-term care and Medicare in a lot of times. And here's an interesting stat for you that you have about a 7% chance of having a fire in your house.
Right.
You have a 27% chance of getting into a car accident, and you have about a 77% chance of needing long-term care at some point in your life. Yet the vast majority of individuals, they do not have long-term care. And the reason why is because when you need it, it becomes cost prohibitive and you have to qualify medically for it. So having that plan and getting it early, the sooner the better, makes a lot of sense in terms of making sure that you've addressed those needs as you head into retirement.
Yeah, another one you mentioned that maybe we don't spend a lot of time thinking about as we're healthy and maybe heading into retirement, legacy planning. That's very important to have that in place.
Very important. You know, there's two types of people really. Some say, you know, I want to just bounce my last check. I want to spend my last dollar.
Right.
I'm not worried about my legacy plan. But you have a lot of you in there that come into our office and say, you know what, I want to leave my money to my charities. I want to leave my money to my kids. I don't want to spend a dollar of my principal. And so we have an in-house attorney that will set all that stuff up. So we really want to make sure that that's dealt with and easy for all of our clients.
Yeah, so much goes into this comprehensive plan. Is that something you have in place? Do you have a global view of your retirement plan? Maybe you need to call the number on your screen. We are going to get into annuities. Coming up, Andrew will explain how annuities work. First, though, here's how you can contact Grant, Andrew, and the team at Global Wealth Management. We'll be right back.
Are your investment accounts exposed to too much risk? How will your nest egg be impacted the next time the market experiences a major correction?
Whether you're in retirement or nearing retirement, now is the time to secure your financial future.
Is your nest egg ready to help you meet your retirement goals for the rest of your life?
At Global Wealth Management, we want you to succeed.
Global Wealth Management is a South Florida investment management firm that specializes in capital preservation, income investment, and estate planning strategies for those planning for or living in retirement. Now is a great time to get a retirement roadmap review with Grant, Andrew, and the team at Global Wealth Management.
It's one of the most important things that you can do for yourself and for your family.
Here's what they'll do. Review your current strategy and expose some of the hidden weaknesses of your retirement portfolio. Compile a fee report to uncover how much you're really being charged in fees. Show you safer money alternatives. Plus, we will stress test your portfolio and do a risk assessment of your current retirement accounts.
We believe that planning for retirement should be taken very seriously.
Call Global Wealth Management now to get started on your retirement roadmap review. And if you're one of the first 10 qualified callers, you'll receive the top 10 things to consider when preparing for retirement guide. Now is a great time to get a retirement roadmap review with Grant, Andrew, and the team at Global Wealth Management. Call Global Wealth Management now. You're watching The Global Wealth Show with Grant Connis and Andrew Costa.
Welcome back to the Global Wealth Show. I'm here once again with Grant and Andrew from Global Wealth Management right here in South Florida. Guys, we started talking about annuities and then we talked about your plan and how important it is to have that comprehensive view of retirement. Annuities may indeed fit into a portion of that plan. Why are annuities such a hot topic these days? You hear them, about them, not a lot of people understand them, but they're out there and you do use them, right?
Yeah, they're there. You know, and there's been tremendous growth in the annuity industry over the years. You know, $225 billion with a B went into annuities in 2015.
Really?
So it's on the rise for sure. And my personal opinion as to why that's happened is twofold. Number one, there's more and more people retiring every single day. You know, 10,000 baby boomers a day. Many of those baby boomers, you know, lost half of their life savings in 2001, 2002. Built it back up, kind of got hit in the gut again and lost it again in 2008, and they finally got back to even. And they don't want that to ever happen to them again, obviously. Sure. And a properly structured annuity is one of the only investments in the investment universe that can give you actually upside or potential gains with no market downside. So I think people are flocking to safety and they're realizing that, you know, we can't just put our money under the mattress anymore. Or we can't just put our money in the bank, not earn anything. Right. We have to get some return, so what do? So they turn to annuities in that case. The other reason I think annuities have experienced this growth over the years is because more and more people today are retiring without the old corporate pension. If you have a pension, you're definitely in the minority because most people aren't fortunate enough to do that. They're retiring with these things called 401ks or 403bs or IRAs, and the onus is on us as savers to retire and have this pot of money that they got to make last for the rest of their life. And so a properly structured annuity, right or wrong, is the only investment in the investment universe that whether you live till you're 90 or 120 years old, that you'll never run out of money. There's not another investment that provides that that's out there. So I think there's been this flock not only to safety, but also safety of income, because people are retiring and are saying, you know what, I need to create my own pension-like income. Maybe I want $2,500 or $5,000 of my income in retirement to be guaranteed, and that's what an annuity provides.
Yeah. Well, it's easy to see why an annuity might be attractive to someone heading off into retirement. And there are so many different types of annuities. Are there some that you like maybe better than others?
Definitely, Ben. Well, I first just to say that, you know, there's so many different feelings out there about annuities, and we aren't huge fans of annuities in general. There are a ton out there that really just don't make a whole lot of sense. But for some people in some situations, they can be, you know, a good safety vehicle or a good income protection vehicle or something like that. So the different types that are out there is first an immediate annuity. With an immediate annuity, you're putting your money in with the insurance company and they're giving you income immediately for the rest of your life. The only small issue with an immediate annuity that you may have is when you give your money to that insurance company, it's gone. You cannot get access to the principal. You'll get income from it, but the principal's gone. With the second type of annuity, it's called a fixed annuity. With a fixed annuity, it's real simple and easy to understand because it acts a lot like an investment that we're all, you know, pretty familiar with, which is a CD. So it pays you a fixed rate of interest for a fixed period of time. At the end of the time, you get all your money back and you move on to the next investment. Third type is called a variable annuity, and with a variable annuity, they're very complicated. They're also very popular. But the way they work is, number one, you're invested in the market, so you can go up and down with the market. It's not going to protect your downside. They're also very expensive, 3, 4, 5% per year in fees. So for that reason, you know, I wouldn't say that we're a huge fan of variable annuities just because of the cost alone. They do provide income guarantees like Grant was talking about. They provide death benefit guarantees. So some people like that, and I think that's why they're pretty popular from that standpoint. And then the fourth and final type is called a hybrid annuity or a fixed indexed annuity. And with these hybrid or fixed index annuities, it's kind of a blend between the variable and the fixed annuity. So they can't lose money when the market's down. They only make some of the market upside when the market's up. And they also have these guaranteed income benefits that grow by 5 or 6 or 7% a year, regardless of what's happening in your market account. They'll come with bonuses. They might have a 5, 6, 7, 8% bonus. You know, so there's some good features there. The other reason I would say that we would look a little more towards that fourth type, that hybrid or fixed index annuity type, is because they're very low cost. They're usually 1% or less in fees. So, you know, those are the different types that are out there. I really like, you know, I asked what types do we like? I really like the type that are very simple and easy for us to all understand. Low cost. When the market goes down, I don't want to lose anything. When the market goes up, give me half of that upside. You know, it might average 4 or 5%. Think of it as like a bond alternative. Right now, bonds are a tough place to be with interest rates rising. So it's almost like a bond alternative right now. And those are some of the ones that I would say might be worth looking at.
Yeah, that is great information. And you know, we're not done yet. When we come back, Andrew is going to give the global perspective on exactly how annuities work. It's information you don't want to miss. Be sure to stay with us.
Are your investment accounts exposed to too much risk? How will your nest egg be impacted the next time the market experiences a major correction? Now is a great time to get a retirement roadmap review with Grant, Andrew, and the team at Global Wealth Management.
It's one of the most important things that you can do for yourself and for your family.
Here's what they'll do. Review your current strategy and expose some of the hidden weaknesses of your retirement portfolio. Compile a fee report to uncover how much you're really being charged in fees. Show you safer money alternatives. Plus, we will stress test your portfolio and do a risk assessment of your current retirement accounts.
It's about planning for your future. It's about planning for your dreams.
Call Global Wealth Management now to get started on your retirement roadmap review. And if you're one of the first 10 qualified callers, you'll receive the top 10 things to consider when preparing for retirement guide. Call now. You're watching The Global Wealth Show with Grant Connis and Andrew Costa.
And welcome back to the Global Wealth Show. In today's Global Perspective, Andrew is going to share some more about how annuities work. Andrew?
Thanks, Ben. Today we have been talking about annuities and a little bit on how they work. And so what I wanted to spend this time on is diving a little more deep into how they really work and showing you the mechanics behind the scenes on an annuity. So in this chart here, what you're going to see is the annuity is split up between two sides. It has an account value side, and then it has an income benefit and death benefit side. With the account value side, that is what I call your real money. That's the money that if you left the contract, if you decided you had another investment that you wanted to use that money on, or all of a sudden you needed all your money back, that's the side in which is your real money that you'd be taking that money from. The income benefit side is your insurance benefit. That's the insurance portion of the contract. Also, the death benefit would be the insurance portion of the contract. This is the guaranteed side. There's no questions around this side because the insurance company is guaranteeing something on this side. So, as you can see here, what we've put in here is $100,000 as the initial investment. And for this example, what we've shown is an 8% bonus or an $8,000 bonus. So after day one, you're immediately at $108,000. Now, there's all different types of annuities out there. Some pay bonuses, some pay bigger bonuses than this 8%, some pay less. For this example, we're just using 8%. On the income benefit side, you also have an 8% bonus. So on day one, you're at $108,000 on that side as well. Now, with your account value side, the way in which this version that we're talking about here today grows is it's a hybrid or fixed index annuity. And what that means is that it grows some when the market's up, but it doesn't grow at all when the market's down. It stays flat. So you don't lose anything, you lock in your values. So you can kind of see that up here on the chart that we've shown here. So if the market was up maybe 10 or 12%, as you can see, maybe you make 5 or 7% on the upside. But if the market's down 20%, you stay flat, you lock in your gains, you don't lose anything, okay? Now there's some annuities that work very different than that. Variable annuities, they'll go up and down with the market, but in this case we're talking about the hybrid or fixed index annuity. So we know you can't lose, we know you can make some on the upside, but what we don't know is exactly what your return is going to be on the account value side. So I would always say that's a question. Maybe you average 3, 4, 5%, somewhere in that range with no risk. That's, not bad. On this side, you have your income benefit. That, as I said, it got an 8% bonus as well. So you're at $108,000 from day one. And now we're showing a 6% guaranteed growth rate on that income benefit and death benefit. Again, that can be 7, 8, 9, 10%. It could be less than 6%. For this exercise, we're just showing a 6% guaranteed growth rate on that income benefit. So that will grow as long as the contract states for. Sometimes it's 10 years, sometimes it's 20 years. And at some point, you're going to have a decision to make. And that decision that you'll make is, do I want to access this income benefit for a guaranteed pension for the rest of my life? Or do I want to take what this account value has grown to and go off and invest in something else or use it to buy something or however you'd like to use it? So let's just say you started taking the income benefit and you started accessing that for income for the rest of your life. The good thing is it's exactly what I just said it was, which is income for the rest of your life. You never have to worry about income going forward. And that amount of income is going to be based on your age. So if you're 60, 70 years old, maybe it's 5 or 6% off of this number that has been compounding at 6% per year. Now what happens is once you start taking that income, it will start to slowly deplete your account value on this side. But even if that account value goes all the way down to 0, you will still be getting income for the rest of your life. So that's a big reason why a lot of people are interested in annuities. They want to turn a certain portion into guaranteed income for the rest of your life. Let's look a little bit closer on how this account value side works. So on this chart here, you see we're starting with $100,000 and we have a red line and a green line. The red line is the S&P 500. As you can see, up and down in value. The $100,000 at the end is $183,000. With the green line, you can see it doesn't make quite as much as the market does in an up market. But when the market tanks and goes the other way in the early 2000s there, it stays flat. And at the end of the term, because it's very consistent and it never has any big down years, instead of being 183,000 like the S&P 500, it's all the way up here at 214,000. All of that without any risk during that term. Now this is just an example of a certain product. Not all products would work in this exact way, but as you can see, this is really beneficial. No risk, more money down the line. So that's how annuities work. Back to you, Ben.
Yeah, thanks, Andrew. That really helps us understand more about annuities. And we're not done yet. When Andrew and Grant come back, we'll answer some of your questions. Stay with us.
Are your investment accounts exposed to too much risk? How will your nest egg be impacted the next time the market experiences a major correction?
Whether you're in retirement or nearing retirement, now is the time to secure your financial future.
Is your nest egg ready to help you meet your retirement goals for the rest of your life?
At Global Wealth Management, we want you to succeed.
Global Wealth Management is a South Florida investment management firm that specializes in capital preservation, income investment, and estate planning strategies for those planning for or living in retirement. Now is a great time to get a retirement roadmap review with Grant, Andrew, and the team at Global Wealth Management.
It's one of the most important things that you can do for yourself and for your family.
Here's what they'll do. Review your current strategy and expose some of the hidden weaknesses of your retirement portfolio. Compile a fee report to uncover how much you're really being charged in fees. Show you safer money alternatives. Plus, we will stress test your portfolio and do a risk assessment of your current retirement accounts.
We believe that planning for retirement should be taken very seriously.
Call Global Wealth Management now to get started on your retirement roadmap review. And if you're one of the first 10 qualified callers, you'll receive the top 10 things to consider when preparing for retirement guide. Now is a great time to get a retirement roadmap review with Grant, Andrew, and the team at Global Wealth Management. Call Global Wealth Management now. You're watching The Global Wealth Show with Grant Connis and Andrew Costa.
Welcome back to the Global Wealth Show with Grant and Andrew from Global Wealth Management right here in South Florida. It's time now to answer your questions. Guys, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Here's one from Brian in Fort Lauderdale. My mom just went through some major health issues. I'm in my 50s, and I need to know how to protect myself if something similar happens to me down the road.
Well, Brian, that's a really good question, and I'm sorry to hear about your mother, of course. And you know, we actually recently had a very dear client of ours, Linda, go through something similar to your mother, and you know, she was 72 years old, really active, would walk 2-3 miles a day, gardening, loved gardening, you know, fishing, all of those things, and then all of a sudden we get this call that she had a massive heart attack and has literally been in the hospital for 40 days. Wow. And so other than, of course, the heart attack, which was devastating, she also only had the Medicare coverage alone, did not have any of the supplemental coverage. And so the reason I bring it up is because that can be a tremendous amount of money out of your pocket and could literally be hundreds of thousands of dollars by not having that supplemental coverage in place. And so that ends up trickling down to your investment accounts or your loved ones, all of a sudden having to help out and pitch in and all that stuff. So I just think it's so important that everybody make sure that they have that supplemental coverage. On top of that, the second thing would be make sure that you have that long-term care coverage in place. You know, that's another thing that can add up to such a large amount of money if you go through that, and you know, it's easy to fix and something that, you know, we can definitely help do.
And that's always a question we get. You know, a lot of times people say, well, what are my options around long-term care? You know, how do you tackle long-term care, if you will? And there's 3 ways to do so. You have your traditional long-term care policies. We kind of refer to those as use it or lose it type contracts, because what happens is you pay all this money into it over time, and if you don't need it or you predecease it, kind of everything that you paid into it is gone. Plus, it can increase the premiums on you over time. I just went through that with my own mother, who got a notice that the long-term care policies that she took out in her 50s, she's in her late 60s now, was going to go up by $10,000 a year. Wow. So you got to be very careful about that. The second type of long-term care strategy is what they combine a long-term care and a life insurance policy. It's kind of like a hybrid long-term care life insurance contract. And basically what happens is you lock in the premium so they cannot increase the premium on you over time, which is a good thing. If you need it for long-term care, it's there for you. If you change your mind, there's a cash value. And then if you predecease it, there's a tax-free death benefit that's paid to your family. So that's kind of a preferred method when you compare it to the first type, because it has that death benefit in place, and all the premiums that you paid into it would be there whether you need it or it would pass to your loved ones. And then the third way to tackle long-term care are through some of these hybrid annuity contracts that we've been talking about on the show today. And basically the way they work is if you need long-term care at some point down the road, and let's just say you're getting $20,000 a year from your annuity contract, the insurance company will double your income from $20,000 to $40,000 a year in that example to pay for long-term care coverage. Maybe you need a nurse to come in or you need some additional help. Right. And then if you're still living, it would go back to the $20,000 a year income. So those are just ways to handle long-term care, and it's absolutely essential that you have that health care plan in place to address those issues as it relates to your retirement.
Yeah, I know you spent a lot of time talking about it, that as an overall part of the plan. I want to come back to, you mentioned the life insurance option, that it works like regular life insurance if you don't need the health care benefit, or if you pass away, that money is still there and goes to your dependents, your family?
That's the great thing about it. It gives you options. You know, usually the traditional long-term care, you lose it, you use it or lose it, and in this case, you have many different options that you can take advantage of depending on what really happens during your life.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay. So there's good options there. Thanks so much. You know, if you have a question for Grant or Andrew, visit AskGlobalWealth.com or call the number on your screen. For Grant and Andrew and the entire team at Global Wealth Management, I'm Ben Bauman, hoping you have a great day and a secure financial future. Take care.
Are your investment accounts exposed to too much risk? How will your nest egg be impacted the next time the market experiences a major correction?
Whether you're in retirement or nearing retirement, now is the time to secure your financial future.
Is your nest egg ready to help you meet your retirement goals for the rest of your life?
At Global Wealth Management, we want you to succeed.
Global Wealth Management is a South Florida investment management firm that specializes in capital preservation, income investment, and estate planning strategies for those planning for or living in retirement. Now is a great time to get a retirement roadmap review with Grant, Andrew, and the team at Global Wealth Management.
It's one of the most important things that you can do for yourself and for your family.
Here's what they'll do. Review your current strategy and expose some of the hidden weaknesses of your retirement portfolio. Compile a fee report to uncover how much you're really being charged in fees. Show you safer money alternatives. Plus, we will stress test your portfolio and do a risk assessment of your current retirement accounts.
We believe that planning for retirement should be taken very seriously.
Call Global Wealth Management now to get started on your retirement roadmap review. And if you're one of the first 10 qualified callers, you'll receive the top 10 things to consider when preparing for retirement guide. Now is a great time to get a retirement roadmap review with Grant, Andrew, and the team at Global Wealth Management. Call Global Wealth Management now